Now, biggest story of today, it's on the front of most of the newspapers, is, of course, Phillip Schofield. He quit ITV after admitting to having an affair with a young male colleague at This Morning.
Yeah, he's also been dropped now by his talent agency, YMU. They've represented him for more than 35 years.
Well, we can speak now to our Showbiz reporter, Stephanie Takyi, who is still in Cannes for us. Good morning to you, Stephanie. So, I mean, we were talking about this time last week, weren't we? 6 or 7 days ago, he quit This Morning, and now we know he's stepping down from ITV. What's happened in the past 6 days? And tell us what was in that statement.
Well, Stephen and Ellie, I have to admit, this has been like the worst kept secret in showbiz. You know, since Phillip stepped down last week, I knew that a lot of journalists in the industry will be like dogs on acid, trying to find out why has the golden boy of TV decided to quit This Morning. Initially, people thought it's because he wasn't getting on with Holly, and he became the story more than the show, reason why he stepped down. But now, from yesterday's statement, he's come out and said, you know, he's admitted that he did have an affair with a younger male colleague, which he actually brought to This Morning. For many years now, a lot of my showbiz colleagues and a lot of newspapers have been sitting on this story, which Phillip has always denied. And I can imagine in the week since he stepped down, a lot of journalists, as we do know who the identity of who his ex-lover was, has been approaching this man to come out with his side of the story. And I think what Phillip has done now is he's trying to save some face for this man by trying to come out and say, actually, we did have an affair. And he's trying to somewhat give him some privacy in this situation, which I think has really just gone out of the window now. I think there is much more of this story to come. I think while Phillip would like to think this story will be put to bed, I don't think that will be the case.
Because he's now, I mean, even on the most positive spin on this, he's someone who has admitted lying, cheating on his wife, lying to colleagues and even his lawyer and all sorts of people. Is there any way back? Is his TV career finished now?
I think so, because, you know, what he's done, he's thrown like a big organisation such as ITV into disrepute, because now, even though the relationship was consensual and, as Phillip said, it was legal, it's the morality issue here, Stephen. He was married at the time. He did deny to ITV bosses, Holly, and his talent agency that this affair even took place. So now we're looking at a broadcaster who has lost his credibility, which is a shame after 40 years in the business. He should have known better. As he said, it was a very unwise decision. But again, when we look at the actual structure of the relationship, this is a young man he's known since he's been a teenager. So you are going to get the accusations of grooming. And now there's a lot of finger pointing on who knew about the relationship. You know, now This Morning has actually lost its shining star as a TV show that most people love, because people are going to be like, who knew about this affair? ITV bosses, did they do much to protect this young man? Because there is a lot more to this story that has actually come out to the public.
Yes, of course, Stephanie, there are going to be questions now about what bosses at ITV knew and when they knew it. What do you think this will mean for Holly Willoughby? She's worked with Phillip for 13, 14 years now, hasn't she? She's on that extended half-term break. What do you think will happen when she's meant to be back on the 5th of June?
To be honest, Ellie, I feel like Holly is walking on ice in terms of where she stands with the show now, because, you know, Holly and Phil came as a duo. So since him stepping down last week, you know, there's been talks of maybe she'll be co-hosting the show with Alison Hammond. But the fact is now, I don't know if viewers will be able to see that show in the same light, and maybe bosses might have to think about rebranding the show altogether. You know, there's no talent that is bigger than the show. So I think when it comes to Holly, it's going to be a very fine line on whether she can continue the show. As we've seen over the past week, the ratings have already dipped. So whether Holly will be able to make this a flagship show on her own or with a co-host is yet to be seen. But the critics are out and the critics are going to be watching. And for Holly, it will be very hard for her to do her job when she does come back.
I mean, yeah, because as you say, the question is here is because on a morality perspective, who knew what and when? Because let's be honest, Stephanie, I mean, look, we've had this admission now from Phillip Schofield, but certainly in the business, people knew this was going on. I mean, this has been the talk of the town since that coming out 3 years ago.
Definitely, Stephen, and it's not a shocking revelation, I think, to the public now, and newspapers have now got the green light to run with this story, but it's not shocking at all because a lot of people have known it. So if you've got outsiders and showbiz journalists and industry people knowing about this situation, I find it very surprising that ITV bosses didn't really know what was going on. I think they managed to sweep it under the carpet, which they've done for the past 3 years, but I think now it's like it's a blaming game, and I don't think Philip's the only one to blame here. I think, you know, fair enough, it was a consensual relationship, but this is someone who has abused his power, and we've seen over the past few years when it comes to TV and figures abusing their power, it's not on. It's abusing your trust and abusing the public's trust in you as a broadcaster that should be trusted. And I think it's a shame that a 40-year career has ended like this. And right now the public are, you know, going after Philip. But I do worry for his mental health because he's practically lost it all.
Yeah, and been axed by his agent, axed totally from ITV. At least 6 days ago, there was talk, wasn't there, of him staying on and doing other programmes. We now know that that won't be the case. Stephanie, we can see the light coming in behind you in that, it looks like a wonderful hotel room in Cannes. Do you think the sun has finally come out in Cannes for you?
Yes, the sun has been out all this week. It's been almost like 25 degrees, 26 degrees. So it's been lovely. It's been hot. It's the kind of weather we expect from the south of France.
And you've been rubbing shoulders with the stars as well. We're going to be talking to you about it later. Just give us a tease. Who were you with last night?
Oh gosh, last night, it's been a lot of parties, I would have to admit. You know, after the Anthem Gala, Leonardo DiCaprio threw his annual Cannes party, which was amazing, and obviously all the A-listers came out, and today's the big finale of the Cannes Film Festival, so it's all about wrapping up, and we're going to find out who is going to win that prestigious Palme d'Or, who will be the winning film. There's 19 films that have been up for it, so we'll find out which film will be crowned the winner of this year's Cannes Film Festival.